Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing your January 2020 General Tarot and Oracle Forecast. This is for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and Taurus Rising signs. Today we're focusing on achieving the impossible. So this is for anyone who has made New Year's resolutions, just needs an extra push to achieve what feels impossible, or just knowing what to do next on a project already underway. All right, so messages for Taurus for January 2020. Messages for, oops, get in there, little guy. Messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is January 2020. I'm not going to be reading flippings, just in the interest of time. We will look at the bottom of the deck, though. All right, messages for Taurus, January 2020. Taurus, January 2020. Messages for Taurus, January 2020. All right, let's get your 5 cards out. So we're starting here with the Queen of Cups. We have the 4 of Pentacles in the second position. We have our second Queen, Queen of Wands, in our third position. We have our second 4 of Cups in the fourth. Holy. So Taurus, straight off the bat, I just want to let you know you're dealing with a lot of emotional energy. Wow. You could be dealing with an Aries, just straight up, I want to throw this out there. Pisces, Cancer, Aries, individual or energies. There's a lot of psychic energy here, a lot of really sensitive energies here. Someone who is very good or adept at speaking from the heart. Someone who is very easy to talk to. Someone who is rather compassionate. And then you have a go-getter. Move these over slightly for you folks. You have a go-getter here. You have a entrepreneur energy here with the self-directed Queen of Wands, but just a real boatload of water, cups energy here for you, despite being an earth sign. And then this really, really powerful magician at the bottom of the deck for you, really big energy, and especially because it is our only major arcana for the reading for you. So the magician, as you can see here, is the number 1 card, closely matched, I'm going to suggest here, with the Queen of Wands, which is of course Aries. It's the first sign, something having to do strictly with yourself, relying on yourself. Like I said, you could be dealing with an Aries. If that's the case for you, you could be cross-watching. You could be Taurus, Sun, Aries, Moon, okay? But, you know, use these messages as they fit your circumstance, as long as they're helpful and healing is the whole point of these messages for you. So for the energy for the entire month being the magician, this is extremely self-empowered energy. I would suggest no matter what you consider achieving the impossible looks like right now, you do have it within you to do this. Whether it is by relying on something that you already have and can identify, or if it's something that you know you don't have or you need help with, and by virtue of that, you take steps to go learn that or figure that out or get help, etc. But the magician is really always solutions-minded. He and she has everything they need, the basic principles, the basic ideas, concepts, or actual things in order to move forward in the direction of achieving the impossible. So no matter what's going to go on here with this energy, we're going to, I'm going to suggest very strongly here that anything to be found here is really all under a very powerful auspice of personal empowerment. So if you've thought about giving your power to somebody else, or someone else can fix this issue, or someone else can do the emotional work for you, or someone else can anything, okay? that is not the answer this month. This is really all up to you. Let's look at why. So the first card is the project. This is a project you're currently working on. This is Cancer energy, but of course this rules the fourth house. It could simply be your home. It could have to do with mother issues. It could have to do with foundations, principles. This is also, I consider, a fairly conservative house. I consider it not as conservative as Capricorn 10th ruled house, but Cancer ruled fourth house is pretty conservative. It's pretty traditional. I would say it's not as strict as 10th house. It's a little bit more nurturing, right? By virtue of it being cups and not pentacles. But there is a nurturing, sensitive, compassionate. There is also an element of moodiness here as well. Let's not forget that Cancer is ruled by the moon. So when we're looking at the moon, we're looking at uniqueness, psychic energy, feeling misunderstood, being able to perhaps even, have visions, be a visionary. There's something going on behind the scenes. There could be, now this isn't the moon card, which is why I'm not getting into things like illusions and delusions here. I don't think that's the case. We would have the moon here, sort of suggesting something's on the delusional side, but that's not what's here for you. The project you're currently working on has to do with fourth house, has to do with the moon, maybe behind the scenes, maybe the shadows, maybe the night, maybe a Cancer individual, Taurus. You could be dealing with a Cancer individual and an Aries individual. Like I mentioned, there could be Pisces here as well, as I said at the beginning. But you also could just be cross-watching. You could be a Taurus Sun, Cancer, Moon, for example. So this could resonate with you Taurians in a variety of different ways, but this is certainly what's sitting here. We do have two queens. I am going to look up very, very quickly for you. Oh my word. So, there is a handy little, multiple meaning section in my adorable pocketbook. So our two queens, I was hoping was a little bit more positive, but unfortunately we're dealing with slander or maliciousness. Taurus, what is going on here for you? Slander and maliciousness. I don't necessarily suspect you're taking part in this, but this could come your way. Also, you could get wrapped up in this, or you could be surrounded by this. So it's just something to be aware of here. Let's look at what's going on with your thinking. What sort of positive thinking should you focus on? So this is technically, the Four of Pentacles, technically considered the miser, or say a little bit worried, a little bit, tight-fisted. But there's a security here, right? Nothing's going to change. There's sort of like a distinct security here where nothing changes. But in terms of positive thinking, you should focus on, maybe just focus on the fact that you are more secure than perhaps you give yourself credit for. Maybe this could be a lesson in counting your blessings, feeling grateful for what you do have. I mean, she really can't move too far though. This is yes, there's security here, but the caveat is you really can't move in one direction or another. You can't spend money to make money. You can't invest here. You can't forego, say, tradition, in order to try something new here. So there could be a feeling of getting out of being stuck. And because this is Pentacles, we're looking at a practical issue. Your positive thinking needs to be around practical awareness, practical situations, in terms of focusing on feeling grateful for what you already have, and just letting something be, I would suggest here, because all the fours are about kind of staying still, not really taking much action here as well. So you might have your own good reasons, okay, for considering this positive thinking, to just be grateful for what you have. Even if it involves clinging, it's only a month, right? We're only looking at January, so maybe don't get too caught up in like the rest of your life type thing. But it's what you may need to do right now. Here's your really inspiring and enthusiastic Queen of Wands. And this is the intangible. What am I not seeing that I can use? So this is Aries energy. Very much, I would say that these two energies together are virtually unstoppable. So, and because we're dealing again with first house energy, Aries ruled Queen of Wands. We have our number 1 out of the major arcana. I do think that the power lies strictly in your hands. Either you need to turn to an Aries for help. If you're cross-watching, you have Aries in your chart, really rely on that portion of your personality, the assertive portion of your personality, the fiery, let's get it done, that sort of sense of being unstoppable. But in terms of what are you not seeing that you can use, your own body, right? Your own solutions, your own mind, your own sense of enlightenment. There's a lot of hope here, right? There's a lot. Every time we look at wands, even at the 9s and 10s, even when it's a lot, even when it's a burden, it's still hopeful. Okay. The wands are really hopeful, as a suit for me. So you may find this Taurus, you may find this like, ugh, like I have to put on all this energy, but it may be the difference between hope and hopelessness, right? Because here we have the intangible. What intangible energy can inspire you? And this is intangible, right? We are dealing with some more emotional energy here. Emotions are technically intangible until they, transpire into the pentacle world. But, how you feel is how you're going to relate to others. But what intangible energy can inspire you? This is literally the card of disinspiration. This is the card of non-inspiration. I'm just having a field day with these cards and these positions. It's just wild. This is the card of intangible energy that can inspire you, but it's all about disinterest. Maybe you're not solutions minded this month. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of a rift, internally between what's possible and what you're willing to do. And there could even be a sense of feeling sorry for yourself right now. I'm not picking on you or anything, Taurus, but there is a sense here of, you can get yourself out of this, right? But in terms of an inspiring energy, this is like boredom. I would say between these two, between the clinging and the boredom, what are you doing? What are you doing? See, I truly think that this is what you believe you deserve and aspire to and are capable of, and etc. I believe that you believe that. However, there's a lack of initiative and there's a lack of even possibly even being aware of your own personal power. But even if you are aware of it, there's a lack of initiative here around solving an issue, taking a leap of faith. These are mirroring one another, and this is virtually hopelessness matched with extreme hope. So I think you know what it is you want to achieve. There's this element of, and we don't see the 8 of Swords here, I get it. But what I'm feeling here is there's a sense of I can't for some reason. And okay, let's see what this guy is saying. What can you achieve that is beyond even what you are imagining? And this is the language of love, okay? So this is, what can you achieve that is beyond what you were even imagining? A very compassionate heart-to-heart conversation that includes sensitivity, understanding, and solutions. If you go into something, I think it could just come down to how something is approached at this point, to be honest with you. I think if you get your head straight, your heart and your mind straight about how you go about approaching something that may seem difficult or that you need to take initiative around, I think that, if you introduce it in terms of, look, I'm really putting myself out here right now. I'm a little bit, I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve right now. I want to find a solution to whatever it is that you're talking about. do you have time? Can we sit down and talk about this? What's a good time for you? Like, you can manage this. I'm going to steer away from saying you can manipulate this. Do not manipulate this. Someone else is going to be able to see right through you. Someone can see right through you. Don't do it. Don't manipulate. Okay. We're dealing with psychic energy. There's way too much water here. Someone can see through that. I would go like, aim for purity of heart, purity of conversation, purity of outcomes, okay? Versus winning and losing. This may just be the first of many attempts as well. We're dealing with a lot of minor arcana, even though there's some mature energy here. But remember, we did see with the 2 queens, we saw slander and maliciousness. What in the world is going on, Taurus? Let's look at romance angels for January 2020. Ooh. I mean, this is nice, right? It just sort of like sums up what we're saying here. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps. You're guided to take. And really, that's a lot of heart space energy. That's a lot of feeling. It's the emotional realm. You know, Taurus, it could be that you need some really good advice. However, if you do feel that you need some really good advice, I'm going to suggest talking to an objective third party. I would not look at people who are already within this framework, particularly people who are in any way associated with 4th house energy, or that just means the home, the mother, that type of thing. So, you know, try to break a little bit of new ground here. Maybe step out of the box a little bit, right? We have 2 4s. We have some incredible boxes, some practical and then emotional boxes here. Or rooms, whatever, you know, 4 walls, right? For the number 4. Now, yes, on the one hand, the 4s are solid, but on the other hand, they can block you in and they can stop you. There could just be out and out fear here as well, Taurus, right? And like I said, the Magician, you could be waiting for someone to save you. You could be waiting for someone to step in. You could be waiting for a miracle. Even if you get what you want at the end of it, I just don't think it's going to be satisfying, and I don't think it's going to last. I think you really need to make an effort, take charge. Yeah, new life, something new, needs to occur here for you. Something new. I think you need to step out of a box, step out of a system, step out of, old patterns, old feelings. Remember that the Knight of Water is Pisces rule. This is 12th house. There could be a spiritual matter here as well. This could have nothing to do with the relationship, and this is all about spiritual matters for you. Either way, I do think that you can help yourself out. I think that you just have to make up your mind to do that. Because living a dissatisfying life is really, it's a downer, and what's the point? So, you know, make a move here, Taurus, into achieving the impossible. Here we have Guardian Angel. I always find both Archangel Michael and Guardian Angel show up when you're really feeling down. So Taurus, this could be an exceptionally difficult month for you, frankly. I'm seeing, especially with this guy here. So if that's the case, really lean on ancestral support, loved ones who have passed on. If you have a favorite Archangel or Guardian Angel, ask for their assistance right now as well. As I just said before this guy jumped out, there could be a spiritual matter at hand. You could just feel lost. You could need some extra attention and support. If this is on the practical plane, as I just mentioned a moment ago, I would steer away from people already in the family or already involved, with their tentacles in it and everything. Talk to a third party. Talk to an objective third party, even if it's a guardian angel. But your guardian angel right now could be a therapist, could be a doctor, could be a book, could be a documentary that you watch. It could be, remember here, you've got a lot of solid support within. And you're very, very strong, right? Like you have a very strong constitution. But on the other hand, right, with all fixed energies, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, I mean, the fixed signs, it just is what it is. Stubborn, inability to move, decisions take a long time, that type of thing. So look at this. You have innocence. What the heck? Just beautiful. Porcupine is innocence. This is really remembering to learn how to play, remembering to learn how to feel good. You could be up against something that's really grumpy, overpowering, feels like it's a bit too much. Also, I want to mention as well, we do have element of fire against water. There's a lot more water here. Yes, there could be some steam, but something could feel like new actions, behaviors, opinions, or entrepreneurial spirits, spirituality in general, could be fizzed out with a little bit too much emotion. Not enough communication, that type of thing here. So, try to return to innocence here. Give yourself a break. Start from scratch if you have to. Remember that you have everything you need at this time. If you don't, you have resources available to you and you can find what you need at this time. So achieve the impossible in 2020. I'm wishing you all the best. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.